Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Big Red and More podcast. I'm T Bird, and with me, of course, is Jaden
Hey, hey.
and Sean.
Hey, what's happening?
And tonight, we got Justin joining us. What's up, Justin?
How we doing?
Got a fellow KCer down there. So, yeah, good to go. I don't know if some of the listeners knew we were supposed to have Chancellor Brewington on tonight, but we had a scheduling conflict. He needed to go a little bit later, and just with a couple of us having kids stuff going on, we couldn't do it. So we're hoping to reschedule for next week. So yeah, so that's what's going on there. Hate to disappoint anybody that was expecting him tonight, but hopefully he'll be on next week. So okay, coming off of another win. Beat Illinois 20-7. Lots of good, lots of bad out of that game.
I don't like the lots of bad. What was the lots
We'll get
of
to
bad?
it. We'll get to it.
Okay.
Since we have a guest, let's start with our guest. Justin, what was your good and bad of the game?
I mean, everybody's been saying it, and it's true. It's that defensive stand in the very first drive of theirs, right? That set the tone for the whole game. I don't think if we get that stop, I don't think we win that game. Because we made enough mistakes in the second half to throw this game away.
I wouldn't go as far as to say that we wouldn't win that game, but that game is a whole lot different.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah. I just don't think – I think that gave us confidence right off the bat of like,
yeah,
we got this. And let's be clear. It was two crappy teams playing each other. Nebraska should have been the less crappier team. However – if they get that drive, we don't have the confidence to withstand that. So,
man, Illinois has been so disappointing. I thought they'd be so much better this year than what they were. But sorry, continue on.
No, I hate Bielema, so I'm glad they suck.
I don't. You hate Bielema?
Yeah, I hate him.
Why?
He's a smug little shit.
God, he's a good coach, man. Like,
oh, absolutely, he is a good coach. It's just, yeah, I don't like him.
I wouldn't hate for him to be in Nebraska. Like, I'm not. This isn't like me against Matt Rule or anybody else. But like, if he would have been named the coach, I wouldn't have hated it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So that's fun. We have two big guys. One of them against a big guy, and another one supporting a big guy. That's awesome. I like that. Jaden, what was your good and bad of the game, or just kind of main takeaway?
Mistakes, constant mistakes, and constant turnovers. We just can't keep doing that. I mean, we're striving to get a bowl game, and how many points should we have had in this game? A lot,
at least 14 more.
At least, I'd say even more, maybe, possibly.
Yeah,
I don't know, but those fumbles, they're just killing us. And the defense, they did what they've been doing all year, minus Michigan. So that was a plus.
Sean, I know you're itching.
Oh no, I agree with Jaden. Like, that should have been a 38-7 win. I mean, like the opportunities were there to score 38 points, right? Like, you miss field goal, 2 touchdowns, or whatever. Like, you fumble the ball twice in the red zone. Dude, that is a Big Ten road win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how bad they are,
much needed,
or whatever. That is a Big Ten road win.
And he found a way to win an ugly game and overcome the mistakes.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't even that. Like, you were never in doubt in that game. That game wasn't like.
Okay, well, Illinois. That's a lie. Illinois kept throwing us some bones. Illinois kept throwing us some bones too.
That's a lie. If our defense wasn't what it was, when we fumbled the ball on the 20 both times at the end of the game, you're like, that's how we would lose those games earlier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Those fumbles aren't our fault. It's part of the T-Bird curse. He likes a running back. They fumble.
I didn't know how long we were going to go until we brought it up. But that's Anthony Grant. That has nothing to do with me. So, but no, y'all can fuck off with that because Johnson was rolling until he got that. But so we're gonna throw the kid away because I like him and because he got a fumble. Fucking Anthony Grant got a fumble.
We just don't like you to like him. You need to start hating him. He needs to do something where you start hating him.
Listen to that. Listen to Sean.
Well, I'm not gonna hate him. So
you're gonna have to figure a way to hate him. Like he needs to do something to where you hate him. That way you can just leave him. Like then we
If
can
you
just prove you
start
wrong
like
constantly.
Cochran, so we can get him out of the lineup.
Yeah, no
I
shit.
hate Cochran.
No, you need to like him.
Yeah, you need to love that dude.
I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
All right, no, tried.
So,
Go ahead.
go ahead. No, you're
No,
good.
I'm
Go
just
ahead.
like my thing is like so things that I'm looking at this game. Like I said, whatever. It's a Big Ten. I mean, you had a decent win, road win. You know, it wasn't close. It wasn't 3 points. What was the spread on that game?
Mm,
2.5.
Yeah.
it
So
big?
I mean,
close.
it wasn't anything close to what our spread was. Like that's a good win. That's a
Mhm.
good win. I think we're starting to I hope the team is, I guess, figuring out like this is the team, right? So it is going to be that struggle. That
Yeah.
it's going to be that way. I'm okay with it, and I'm okay with Harburg being the starter. Like, do I want him to be the starter in 2024? Fuck no, right? He's not a quarterback. He's a good athlete making good plays. But he's. I had a text message from somebody that was like, "You think Sims, if Sims is healthy, do you think he starts the next game with the bye week and stuff?" It's like, dude, Harburg's 3-1.
Yeah, you got to keep
Like
rolling with him.
it's his spot until it's not.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to that, like the dude plays hard. He the way he stiff armed that dude to the ground. Shit, I love that. Like,
Yeah.
he plays hard. He's a good athlete. He's going to make plays just out of athleticism. The thing that scares me is when we get into, I think a Purdue game is going to be a tough game because all we can do is run, right? Are we better up front? Can we face 8 front? Can we face a team that's going to box 8?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what they're going to do. That's what the teams are going to do to us the rest of the way. Are we good enough in the run game to manage, make a couple big plays here and there, dink and dunk pass plays, whatever, to get first downs? Are we good enough to deal with the 8 guys in the box? In the past, we haven't been.
Was anyone else just completely perplexed that they didn't count that as a touchdown on that first drive on 3rd down? I thought that was a touchdown for sure. Not the 4th down one, but the 3rd down one. I thought that was a touchdown for sure.
Oh, Illinois?
Yeah.
I didn't really see it.
Those are what's cool about the goal line stands like that, though.
That was huge for our
but
confidence.
They can't review them. You know what I'm saying?
No.
There's so
too
much
many
bullshit.
bodies.
There's too many bodies. There's too much shit to overturn. If the umpire does not call that,
yeah,
you what do you have to go off of?
Yeah, no, I agree. So what do you guys think? I mean, understandably, first year coach, learning curve, older guys haven't learned. You know, they've never had a game like this where we make that many mistakes and still still win the game. Now, don't get me wrong, Illinois helped us quite a bit in that manner too. But what do you think this win, this specific one, does for the confidence of the team moving forward, right? And how we build on it. Like Sean said, we're going to be a defensive team. We're going to make mistakes on offense. We're going to have to win ugly games. But do you think that this specific win was enough of a turning of the tide for us, and mainly with the next few games being a lesser opponent?
Justin, go ahead, man.
Okay, I was just gonna say you just gotta take this as a coaching moment, right? Like I watched Rule's presser this week. He's like, hey, did you guys do this? No, we didn't do that. Hey, did you guys talk about this? No, we didn't talk about that in the huddle. Okay. Do you see how doing those little things would help us when we would have got those 14 plus points, right? We would have done these little things better. So it's that coaching opportunity of, hey, here's proof in the pudding of the stuff that I'm saying, right? Like, hey, if you guys are talking about this stuff in the huddle, like I've coached you to do, then this works. And I agree. We're not going to have any pretty huge pretty wins, huge wins, whatever. They're going to be knockdown, drag out fights, and we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot this year. But we can still make a bowl.
Jaden?
If you win a game, no matter what, I think it gives you a team confidence every time. So to me, I mean, I don't see this as the one game that gets us over that hump of, constantly shooting ourselves in the foot but it's a start. We're going in the right direction. We've won 3 out of the last 4, which we haven't said since
We're
2016.
4-1 right now in our last 5 games.
No,
Thought we were 4 or
No,
no,
that's
that's
not
not
true.
right.
we're 3
If we win our next, right?
If we win
What the
next week, it'll be 4-1, or
Yeah,
not next week,
in
but
5
yeah,
games, yeah.
next week, not this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, just keep winning, and the confidence will come.
Could that bye week come at a better time?
No,
No,
I think the
it's
bye
good
week's
timing.
perfect right now, man. Like, if you
Halfway
got
point.
any, I mean,
You got an
any
ugly
kind of-
win to coach on throughout the bye
Yeah.
week.
but it's also injuries. I mean, anybody that's dinged up, like you're talking like Luke Reimer, that is it. Like, you think our defense? Look how good our defense played without him,
Mhm.
right? Put him back in there, like shit. Like, we're scary on defense, right? Get him healed up, and like you said, coaching points, like the small things, like. I don't know what fixes our offense, but
NIL, new offensive line.
New players.
we got to use the NIL, man. Like, that's the thing. Like, when you're talking about like next year and shit, like, are we going to actually use the NIL? Like, we're like supplementing players. The way I feel about what we're doing with the NIL right now is we're supplementing players that are already here. We're not using it
to get new guys.
Get guys, right?
Did you guys
Like,
talk about this last week about like the $5 and $10 million? Was that you guys?
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and Jaden, I think it was you that said it. Like, hey, if an offensive lineman is going to transfer from a school, he's probably not a good offensive lineman.
That
I'm
was
like,
mine.
Was that you? Okay,
Mhm.
sorry. But that's true. But hopefully there's a coaching change and they don't like the new coach or they don't like the new scheme. So that's a way that you can find that good left tackle in the NIL portal. Or transfer portal.
Yeah. That's pretty rare. But it is a possibility for sure.
I mean, look at Michigan State. You don't know who their coach is going to be next year.
That's true.
Let's look
Who
at their
are we-
offensive line and go, hey, you want to stay in the Big Ten and actually
Yeah.
come coach for some,
So
I hope we are hammering Michigan State's players.
to fix it right away, we need to go there, right? To like, for us to be like really competitive next year, yeah, you're gonna have to go to the portal. But I do think that, like, who's the kid that decommitted from Illinois? I think he actually decommitted from Illinois.
Yeah.
right?
After the
Now,
game.
but it
Yeah.
sounds like he's going to go to Missouri
Mm-hmm.
because we already have the scholarship locked up with.
We don't have
with
enough
Bricks.
scholarships.
Is it Bricks or
Yeah.
what the hell?
Well,
But-
we're waiting on him.
Right. Yeah. So my thing is like, and I've said, and if you've listened to the podcast, you know how I stand on quarterbacks and stuff like that out of Nebraska. Like, I hate quarterbacks out of Nebraska. Quit getting them. They're not good. They're not good quarterbacks. But linemen, there's no reason why we can't recruit linemen out of Nebraska and develop those guys in 3 to 4 years. They're big ass farm kids that are strong.
Yeah, we
And I'm
got a
telling
few.
you,
We got a
you know-
few. They just need time.
So I deal with a lot of wrestling stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, I wish Nebraska would go to a
State tournament.
like a true state champion, right?
Mhm.
So we have class state champions, right? So you're Class A state champion, you're Class B state champ, C, D, right? And I'm telling you, some of those C, D kids would beat the
Oh, yeah.
shit out of some
Oh,
of those
yeah.
A kids, and it's
Country Strong beats City
'Cause-
Muscles.
exactly, and that's just it. It's like city weight room kids aren't as strong as country farm kids that are
Right.
also hitting weights,
Yep.
So in the lineman aspect, I think Nebraska absolutely has athletes in their systems. They just don't have the quarterbacks. The skill positions is where I don't have a lot of faith in the state of Nebraska as far as developing kids. But on linemen, let's go. That kid shouldn't be leaving to go to Missouri or going to, you know what I mean? Like, those kids have to stay here. The lineman kids have to stay in Nebraska.
So, okay. That kind of segues into B's question. So let me just knock that out here. Okay. Nice to get another W last week. Looks like a bowl game could be a possibility. Without it being a bye week, I have a couple of questions regarding recruiting. I'd like to see the DC Tony White load up on some D-line dudes myself, as well as a solid QB. I see we offered a preferred walk-on offer to Blair quarterback Bodie Sukup. What are your thoughts on the Sukup offer, and what would you like to see us target in our recruiting efforts overall? Thanks, and go Big Red. So, Sean, you kind of touched on yours, right? We already kind of know how you feel, but I mean, it's a walk-on
D-line's
offer.
the same boat. So D-line is the same boat as the O-line. And examples of like athletes on that situation is like your Luke Reimers. Like, you can go play defense. Defense takes athletes, right? So we produce the athletes. That's where, like, when he's talking about D-linemen, recruit the fuck out of Nebraska.
Jaden, what are your thoughts? What do you think we need to hone in on recruiting?
Well, no, I actually agree with Sean here, because it's the Tom Osborne way. You get your big boys, your lines from Nebraska, the state of Nebraska. Then you go outside of Nebraska to get your athletes, your quarterbacks, your running backs, your
perimeter
wide receivers.
players.
Yes, because they're just more abundant in the other parts of the country. So I 100%, that's what I would focus on.
Justin?
No, I agree with Jaden and Sean. In state, it's the big uglies, right? It's blue collar mentality. Flashy players. Granted, Rule has a lot deeper connections in Texas, so that'll be helpful. Start pulling those, because when I lived in Dallas, that's a whole different animal down there. High school football. I don't know if you guys have ever been down there and seen the stadium.
So I'm going to interrupt you because I'm going to ask you a direct question. So like my theory on quarterbacks is like going back to HH, right? Like, I just don't think, like, he's an athlete. The dude's 6'5". He's 220 pounds. He runs a 4.5 40. He's got all the attributes, right?
Oh, I agree with you.
Now, give me that same quarterback out of Texas, and who wins that job?
Oh yeah, the Texas kid. That absolutely. I will throw this wrench at you. Crouch is from Omaha. Frost is from Wood River. They have a Heisman and a national championship. Now, I will caveat with this: we knew what Nebraska ran. High schools ran what Nebraska ran, so they knew the offense, right?
Yeah,
they had it there for 20 years. So once Rule gets his players in here, and it's and somebody doesn't have their thumb on the program anymore, that's a little bit older and used to be in DC and all that stuff. I heard it from you guys. I've never really heard that, but I
have another question for you, Justin.
Yeah.
Like, what offense do you think Matt Rule wants to run here?
My guess is it's going to be an RPO type offense, West Coast, more run heavy than pass heavy, but it's going to be a 60-40 split, right? Okay. Because you need to be able to run the ball because of Midwest winners. Yeah. We're going to see how USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington do when it's November in Lincoln, Columbus, Minneapolis. Like, good luck, boys.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I agree with that.
I don't think we're breaking any new news here on any of that stuff, but I think it's run, and then a 5-7 yard pass to get the first down, and then run, get the, and then sprinkle in the play action when you're like, okay, you get them used to seeing one thing, similar to what TO ran, right? Similar, but modernized. and on things like that. That's just my opinion.
How far off do you think we are from doing that?
I mean, the portal makes it a whole new animal, right? You could get it done next year if you get the right players in and the right
Yep.
scheme. If you get, okay, Cochran, Ben Hart, was it Newelly?
Newelly.
Yeah.
Really?
They were recruited to play Scott Frost offense, right?
Yeah.
USC, Oregon type offense, where he wanted to do that. Well, that's not the case anymore. So they're going to have to get better at run blocking. They're going to get better at quick pass offense. Hey, we can't let the guy get around you. You need to know who you're blocking because, in my opinion, most of our turnovers are due to the offensive line.
I agree with that.
I think that's what happened with Adrian too. He was a hell of an athlete, right?
Yep. But he had to try harder to
Well,
make up
you didn't have
for
time to
lack of
get reads.
time. And
Like you're sitting here, all of a sudden you feel stuff over here or over here. You're like, shit,
Mhm.
I need to get rid of it, and you make a bad pass.
Yeah, he was seeing ghosts like Sam Darnold and the Jets. Was.
So, yeah, I mean, I think he's right. I think he's getting more out of these players than I think he anticipated.
Yeah.
Are we as fans happy? No. But
why not? Okay, hold on. So when you say we as fans not happy, why are we not happy? So because I actually got a tweet, or it was JP that sent something like that, like, Scott Frost is smiling right now. And my opinion is we're closer to a 6-win season than we've ever been.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Like we have 3 wins against teams that Frost has lost to.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, then there's people old like me and older that are like, why can't we just do what we used to do, right? Like, why can't
Different
we,
fucking world.
No, absolutely. But, to me, I don't feel like I graduated high school 30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with that.
I mean, granted, I'm almost 100 pounds heavier than when I graduated high school and, 9 times as slow. But, hey, I can still hit that hole, right? I can still jump that hurdle. Yeah, no, I can't. I'll pull a quad or my crotch or something, but whatever. But, that's the mindset of like, hey, we used to be able to destroy these guys. We have the facilities. Facilities are not a question. We have the NIL money. Why can't we get these guys? So it's got to be coaching, right? It's got to be recruiting. That was Solich's thing. He couldn't recruit, right?
And this is for everybody in the group. Like, do you think we're actually using the NIL money that we say we have?
I don't think we're using all of it.
Not to its fullest ability.
I think people want to see results before we start spending money.
So then the caveat to that, or the flip side to that coin, is we're like, okay, so we have the money, and so take a Dylan Raiola, I guess would be is the closest example. So if are we scared to offer him that kind of money to come here as a freshman
because of the NIL?
Whatever. You're like this. Not my point. Okay. So my point is like whatever quarterback it is, right, that we want to spend $2 million on as a high school senior, could be the best one in the country. He's never played down a college football, right? Is Nebraska scared to spend that money on that guy who could be a Caleb Williams or could be the next hot thing? But are we scared to spend the money on him to not succeed?
I don't think we will be once a certain someone is gone.
Who's a certain someone?
Tom.
Oh yeah, fuck that guy. God damn it. I'm mad because I agree with you, son of a bitch.
I think people would be more upset on spending the money and not getting a
result.
Williams, right, and spending that money and getting okay results versus having better results with somebody that's not a 5-star and spending half as much. You got to
So-
remember, people in Nebraska are very conservative with their money, right?
Yeah,
big
so-
owners.
But that's the way you got to look at it. It's like, wouldn't you rather try and fail than to wonder what if for not even trying?
So some that kind of I seen on Twitter was Kentucky's coach Stoops saying basically saying that thing about fucking Georgia. He's like, then help out if you want us to do
and
better.
then everybody lost
help
their
out,
mind
you know?
because they're like,
Yeah.
"You motherfucker, you
But
make
is he
$8 million,
wrong?
put in some of your money, you know."
But is he wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like he's not wrong.
Well,
But is he? I don't necessarily agree that he's right either. You know what
yeah,
I'm
I
saying?
mean, you
Like,
can't be making $8 million asking fans to put in more money.
But the
right?
coaches can't unless they set up like an L, which I've heard coaches like will set up LLCs and use their money to do this. I've heard that's kind of a new thing that's going on. Is Matt Rule willing to set up an LLC and put up $1.5 million of his own dollars to
sure.
go?
I guarantee
So
it.
that's kind of my thing. Like,
Yeah,
we're
I'm
in a new
sure.
world. It's a whole new world.
well, yeah, you're going to create an arms race of dollars, right?
Yeah.
Not Nebraska's
Yeah.
still Nebraska's still a national brand, so we have donors all over the country, right? Georgia still has Atlanta, where there's a shit ton of money that Nebraska doesn't. Not that Nebraska doesn't have as much money as Georgia, but you know what I'm saying. Big time donor. We have less big time donors.
Do you think maybe it's because they're supposed to be tight, like coming down with final like rules and regulations, everything for the NIL? Do you think maybe we're just trying to sit tight to wait and know exactly what that is before we go getting into this wild arms race?
I mean, that's a really good point. I never even thought of that.
Yeah, because like, didn't they
there-
just
there
announce
needs- there
that
needs to
not
be
too
a little
long
bit
ago
more
that they're
rules.
supposed to be like they're supposed to be setting up like, hey, this is the way it's gonna be, and they're gonna like, where did I see that at? Where they had NIL regulations, and they're also talking about like maybe just more rules and just like more, not necessarily
More
rules, but
defined lines of like, this is what you can't do, this is what you can't.
yeah, like
can't
finally making
set
it
up an LLC.
universal.
Right? You can't set up an LLC and pay it. It has to come from known money
Mm-hmm.
and trace all that.
But have you ever heard of the get why the getting's good?
No,
You know what I mean? Like, you might as well fucking go all in right now. Why the getting's good? If you got the money, which Nebraska apparently, if we're gonna put on $400 million to the fucking stadium, don't tell me we. God damn it, 450. Don't tell me we ain't got the money to go pay for a fucking $5 million quarterback. Just saying.
Jaden, why do you think we're so tight on our NIL money?
It's got to be you need to see production first. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. It may, I mean,
need a line to protect that $5 million too.
right? Yeah,
Tom Osborne.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, he hates NIL, doesn't he?
He's old as fuck. Yeah, of course he does.
He hates everything fun.
Gambling, marijuana, name it. Like what?
You have to remember, they paid a lot of money under the table in the 80s.
Yeah.
You guys might not remember that, but Oklahoma and Nebraska paid a lot of money under the table. You know,
no.
it's had
Dr. Tom is squeaky clean.
Okay, well,
That motherfucker's got more skeletons in the closet than fucking Scott Frost and fucking Lawrence Phillips.
Scott Frost and Lawrence Phillips.
R.I.P. baby. R.I.P.
Anyway, yeah.
Off track. Okay. No, it's just that's the shit. Is like I just feel like sometimes that's what's holding us back a little bit. Is like if you got it, do it. You know, like
Yeah, but we need to make sure the ROIs are right.
The what?
ROI, return
What's
on
that?
investment.
Oh yeah.
It's like, hey, we can go spend money for a Raiola, but if we don't have an offensive line, then it doesn't do any good to spend that $5 million on a
This can't happen. She's gonna wreck everything, bro. Yeah, we're going. This is like way to make it.
We're live, Hayden. Get out.
Way to make it weird.
Fuck. Go drive somewhere.
What do you want?
Gas money.
Yeah.
He's got back from driving.
We'll go back out.
He's out of gas. More money for gas.
That's a true story.
I remember what we were talking about now.
Sorry. Yeah, you totally fucked it. He's got cash in a trash bag under my feet. Like he reached under my feet, grabbed a fucking trash bag and pulled out like $70 of shit. Where the fuck did you get that money?
Drugs. Selling drugs.
Only fans.
His OnlyFans. Oh shit. Okay.
Oh, is he peddling foot pics?
Probably.
Damn.
He thinks he's a pimp. So this motherfucker.
All right.
No, hold on. No, I gotta say this out loud.
You gotta quit outing your kids all the time
that,
on here.
Dude, fuck this. This motherfucker like texted me the other day, and he's like, oh my god, I wore a wife beater for the first time. He's like, they're awesome. And this motherfucker just walking around constantly with a wife beater on. Constantly.
You gotta worry about if he puts on a White Sox hat.
It's like you're too skinny, man.
Right.
Like you need to start getting in the weight room a little bit more, man. Anyway, sorry. God, I don't even know where to go from there.
Corrupt Tom. This is the last thing I remember.
All right,
Yeah,
so
but
Brody,
like, didn't you make a comment last week or a couple weeks ago about somebody saying something about Tom's kind of still dictating
Yeah.
what's going on here? You know, like
Adam mentioned that he heard it on Character that
so
Frost wished that he could have ran the program the way that he wanted to, emphasizing that somebody else was still having final say and things like that.
I'd like to get Justin's thoughts on that.
how do I put this? I'm not the biggest Frost fan, and that was before he was the coach. You have to remember we're the same age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have a story for off the air.
Nice. Say it on the air. Say it on the air. No, I'm just kidding.
But I was happy to see him be our coach. And then what came out afterwards does not surprise me, of him like hogging the golf simulator and being drunk at things and not going to recruiting NIL meetings and showing up late. I'm like, that stuff doesn't surprise me. You can't have that as a head coach at a D1. And I'm using this term loosely, powerhouse. Right?
Yeah, especially the fishbowl that is Nebraska.
Right. Smartphones, you're going to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
You just are. But it doesn't surprise me if T.O. still has his thumb on the program, right? Which can be a good or a bad thing. But if he doesn't let the head coach do it the way he wants to do it, then what's the point of coaching here, right? Then we're never going to get a good coach till he's gone. So take the rumors with a grain of salt, but it wouldn't surprise me to see T.O. still have his thumb on the program. And
But Rules actually had like come out and said that he has a weekly meeting with Tom Osborne.
He's the godfather, right? You have to do that. But
I don't think you have to, but
why am I looking at Jaden Scratch?
I don't know.
Sorry, my dog was going freaking nuts.
I mean, he's the OG, right? He's the godfather of the program. I mean, we still look at, we still talk about the 90s. Well, he was the coach. So it is what it is. So it's paying the respects to who came before you, but also being able to run the program the way that you see fit today.
Haven't we paid enough respects to finally move on and fucking...
Well, we need Rule to put his stamp on this and get winning again, and then that kind of goes away, right?
Yeah.
We brought Solich back, who should have never been fired, and that was all the AD, right? We took care of that. Now we just need to let Rule do his job because he's our coach, whether some people like it or don't like it or indifferent. We just want to win. We start winning, that thumb gets less and less.
Yeah.
So win and everything takes care of itself.
Yeah, that's true. Winning does solve all problems.
So kind of moving back into.
Why are you so loud?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't mean to be.
You're,
I'm hearing a hum. That's my issue. I don't know if that's what's making me louder. But here's a question for everybody: does Tony White stay after this season?
not
I
if
hope
we don't
so.
fucking pay him.
Yeah, pay the man.
Well, he's already making $1 million plus.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Satterfield makes more than him. That shouldn't be happening.
Tony White's gonna have multiple head
Agree.
coaching offers.
Absolutely agree. Is there a scenario where we keep him?
What's his
What if-
connection? What's his connection to Rule?
Tony White?
Temple?
I don't know.
No, I don't think they
so.
did have a connection.
So
Yeah,
Northwestern could come after him hard.
Michigan
him
State could.
And Michigan State could come after him hard.
Well, he's a West Coast guy. I heard something about San Diego State also.
Yeah, he has connections in California. Yep, Jaden,
Yeah.
you're exactly
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Well, depends on what programs offer him, what his building a program like from that's down and never being a head coach is it's not easy, right? I mean, it can be done. Shit, Pelini did it, kind of,
yeah.
right?
He's literally the most successful coach since Osborne at Nebraska.
Yep.
Not better than Frank.
Well, yeah, I guess Frank had a couple really good years.
Frank had a 7-7 season. Just saying.
Yeah,
Bo never had that.
yeah. Well, Frank also played in a national championship game. Solich didn't because of 1 second. Well,
Probably
no,
shouldn't have.
Yeah.
shouldn't have. No. During that time, this is the one Nebraska joke that I was like going, all right, that's a good one. We all heard, we know what the N stands for. So during that bowl game, down at Kelly's, they're like, hey, the difference between cornflakes and Cornhuskers? I'm like, what? They're like, cornflakes belong in a bowl. I'm like, all right, that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
So if he were to go, what are the chances you go after like Patty Fitz?
Oh no.
What do you mean? No.
Not
Why
in
would
Nebraska.
What?
Too many fucking old people. No, it won't fly. No, it won't fly. At another school,
it's too soon.
yes.
It's too soon.
Yes.
Oh,
At
fuck.
another school, yes.
He's going to have the same luck that Art Briles did after Baylor.
Yeah. I agree. And part of his lawsuit for defamation to Northwestern is them taking away future income he could have had from coaching. Now that he has in there that he's gonna be unable to coach in the future now because of this scandal.
I'm like scared to death of Lose White. Honestly, like that dude, like that sucks. Like that,
Yeah.
and that's starting to gain a lot of steam.
It's a deal.
I haven't said
I
haven't said it the whole
I don't
night.
think we lose him. I don't think we lose him this year.
You don't think so?
I think he'll coach next year in 2024 and then 2025. I think that's
So my only argument to that is that he was successful at Syracuse too,
uh-huh.
right? So like he has years of success,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you go to a team like Nebraska who's been rough,
Yeah.
right? But the shining light there is like he took in 1 year this defense who's still in top half of the nation.
Yeah.
25, top 25.
Like, yeah. So that he makes me real fucking nervous leaving.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if he left, but I don't think he will until at least 2025. I think he coaches 2024 to build to get to a better program to be a head coach at.
Say he
That's
does leave. Say he does leave though.
Yeah.
We run a 3-3-5. How many coaches out there do you know that run a 3-3-5? Also,
Great point.
would Nebraska stick with the 3-3-5 or would they go back to a 3-4
Well,
depending on the coach?
who's his assistants who could step up?
I don't know.
Did
I don't know who
Did he
could do
bring
that.
people from Syracuse with him?
No,
I don't think so.
Who's Syracuse defensive coordinator?
They've gotten
question.
rolled up on a couple times this year, though, too. That's
Yeah.
not the same coordinator.
No, it's not. Like I said, I
Like-
don't know. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a 3-3-5 defensive coordinator prior to this year.
Dude, the shit works, man. They
It
like
does.
defensively, man.
Rocky Long.
Okay.
Like I didn't. If you would have told me that we could be a top 25 rush defense with a 3-3-5, I would have told you you're fucking crazy.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be miserable. I really
You
did.
know, like that dude has it. Like whatever he's doing is working. Even against Michigan, we had a bunch of missed tackles. That's not necessarily
Yep.
outside of scheme. You know what
They're
I mean?
in
Like,
position.
Yeah, they were in position, just missing tackles. That sucks.
They're also a much different
Exactly.
football team. You
That's
know,
what, like,
they
gives
are
me-
very athletic.
Well, that's what gives me confidence moving forward in these next 4 to 5 games, 6 games. Shit, the next 6 games is your defense can keep you in a whole bunch of these games
Yeah.
Easily.
if they keep doing what they're doing, man.
But can the offense keep us in the game?
Apparently 20 points can win you a game. But you're not far off from 28. You're not far off from 30. Like, that's the thing that's scary about our offense. Honestly, like, that should have been a 38. That should have been a 38-point game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and the mistakes that you made in that game to not score 38 are fixable mistakes.
Yeah, they're your own mistakes.
That had nothing to do with our wide receiver deficiencies or our running back deficiencies. You know what I mean? Those were 2 fumbles in the red zone, a fucking field goal kicker that can't quite figure it out yet. You know, those things get fixed. Like, your defense your defense wins you a lot of games here in this backstretch.
Yeah, so let's kind of segue into that. What do you guys since we're on a bye week, we don't have a game to preview. Let's preview the rest of the season here. What do you guys foresee happening in the rest of the games?
Like, you want to win loss or just
Sure.
okay, well. What do we got? We got Northwestern next,
Mhm.
correct? To me, that's an easy win. Should be. I mean, they struggled against who was it?
Howard.
They played Howard.
They beat Minnesota in overtime.
They
That's
did.
weird. That was a fluke.
But
I think
Nebraska Northwestern is always a weird game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, except for the one year me and Andy went when we beat the crap out of them, like 56-7.
Yeah, it was because we were there.
Scott Frost's last Big Ten win.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I got to go a little reverse psychology on this, where it's
Careful.
like where it's like where Nebraska used to be was, and we're talking back in the day, up until
Why?
probably 2010. We're like, shit, we got to play Nebraska, right? That's not the case no more. Like, Northwestern's like, if we're gonna get another win, it's Nebraska. Like, we're their win on their schedule. When they're looking down their schedule, they got us chalked as a W. Right. So does Purdue. So does Wisconsin. So does Iowa. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not that scary team anymore. We're the team that, like, that's a win on our schedule. So, like,
We're Kansas.
So it's like we as fans are sitting here looking at this like, okay, Northwestern's a winnable game. Purdue's a winnable game. Those teams are also looking at us as we're a winnable game too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? To help their
definitely.
season out. So, like, that's the only thing that scares
Well, it's like
me
Rule
about,
said.
like,
There's not a team left that we can't beat, but there's also not a team there.
I
that
love
can't
that
beat
he
us.
said that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the perfect way to
That's
say
all
it.
needs to be said. Because, yeah, I mean, Northwestern, we think we should win, right? We should have at least a 75% chance to win that game. Northwestern's
Yeah.
always a weird game, in my opinion. Purdue, what Purdue team's going to show up? Michigan State,
Don't have
they
a head coach.
could rally around, like, being underdogs and just going, you know, we're not scared of you.
I think Michigan State's a more winnable game than fucking Northwestern.
Yeah.
Mm,
Dude, they got dudes bailing out of that fucking place like fucking rats in
Yeah, that's
water
true.
coming up. I mean, where at least Northwestern, you're riding with those dudes are there. Like
Mhm.
they already had the
Yeah.
chance to bail.
Because
Right.
they're there for the education, not the football.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I can see Michigan State say, November 4th, hey, our season's done. Screw it. Who gives a shit?
So I guess the way I kind of look at it is like with Rule is like, okay, we win 2 more games, or
Three.
3 more games.
Three.
We win these next 3 games, right? That are winnable games. We're bowling, right?
mhm.
And then we're just
Then-
trying to ruin other people's seasons.
Well, not only are you trying to,
Maryland's, Wisconsin's,
if you win your
Iowa's.
if you win your next 3 games, like you still have a chance to be a West champion,
Correct.
Yeah.
right? Like
Do
you have a
Yeah.
lot to play for. But if
Oh,
you,
yeah.
but the first goal, I guarantee you, the first goal on their fucking poster board is to get bowl eligible. That's their
Mhm.
first goal, right?
I think it's just to win the next game. Just
Well-
win each week.
When you get bowl eligible, then it's like, what bowl game do you want to go to? Do you want to go to New York when it's fucking cold,
Mhm.
right? Or do you want to go down south where it's warm?
Arizona.
Your
Well,
next,
Detroit, it's in a dome.
your next,
Oh, you're still in Detroit.
but you know what I mean? Like your next, after you get bowl eligible, your next games, then it's like, what bowl game do you want to go to? You
Mhm.
go beat Wisconsin, you go beat Iowa. I don't think we can beat Maryland.
No,
No, Maryland's tough.
no.
But
it's
you
in
know-
Maryland too, isn't it?
No,
it's-
that's home. That's home.
Is it home?
Yeah, it's home, and then Wisconsin is
Oh,
in
shit.
Wisconsin, and then
Yeah.
Iowa's at home. But there's a lot there. There's a lot to play for. Like on the coaching aspect of it, it's like this. Whatever happened in this first half of the season, we're 3-2. We have a winning record right now. Or no, we're 3-2, right?
Three
No,
and
we're
three.
3-3. We're 500, right? Yeah. Sorry,
Well,
don't
apparently.
giggle at me, Jaden. But like it's like, and then how you played Minnesota and whatnot. Like you should have won that game. We should be 4-2.
We should be 4-2.
You know, it's if you can show your guys you're there, like just finish it.
Mhm.
But it's then you go back to watching Illinois. Like you didn't finish that game. You needed at least a field goal to finish that game, and you couldn't do it. That's the scary thing. A field goal ends that game.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's the scary part about it. But I think even with like Wisconsin, like our defense, outside of the Michigan game, it's hard to pass on us. You do get more success passing, which could make Wisconsin scary. But outside of that, like Iowa, you're not going to run on us. You're not going to do that shit. So defensively, we're there. How do we finish those games? How do you finish that? How do you not have that fumble in that spot? How do you make that fucking field goal when you really need it?
Mhm.
That's
How do you complete a pass further than 20 yards?
yeah.
I don't think you need to do that. I think
Every once in a while, we're going to have to, just to keep the defense honest.
yeah. I mean, every once in a blue moon, sure. But well, Harburg. Thanks, Sean.
Hey, dude, I get it.
H squared, whatever we want to call him.
I like the H squared. I haven't heard that
Yeah.
one before.
Roll with that.
He learned how to pitch. I mean,
Yeah.
so
and
now-
it looked good. It looked good. He did it.
Uh-huh.
The timing was perfect.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
It almost looks scripted, but hey, he did it.
yeah, I think they're like, you are pitching this ball.
Yep,
You are not
exactly.
keeping, because that defender, he was just keen on. He was like, I don't give
Yeah.
a shit, running back.
Yep.
Yep.
So if
Which
we
was
get a couple
due.
more
I mean,
pitches-
it was due for them to start doing that to us, you know.
He's learning, man. Like that kid's kind of learning on the fly a little bit. That's why it's his job to lose. You know,
I think the team rallies around him.
Mhm.
I don't think they.
Yeah.
I don't think they dislike Sims, but I think Harburg has that it factor. Like
Charisma
we're gonna
to
go
him.
do this.
so somebody asked me if they thought that Harburg would start the next games, and I know I brought that up earlier, but it's like going back to your point, Justin, is like, okay, has what I see on TV is I see Sims going up and congratulating Harburg. I see him being a good teammate.
Right.
So I feel like he hasn't lost himself hasn't lost the locker room either, right? So
I wouldn't say lose. I would just say H squared is just a
would it be a terrible thing? I know it'd be way out of like tradition and everything else that we got to play our quarterback, but would it be, if you could somehow explain it correctly, to like actually start Sims at Northwestern to get him those reps? Because if you're going to keep running Harburg, and I know he's a dude, but if you're going to keep running him the way you're running him, he's going to get hurt.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
it's going to be it's a matter of time.
I think that disrupts
I think
things
we
too
need to
much.
create packages for
What's
Sims.
that?
Create packages for Sims.
I don't disagree with that.
Right? Just go, you're the dude, right? You're QB1. You're it. But we also got to play him because we need him to be ready because, H squared has seen it. Adrian's gone down. McCaffrey gone down. All these quarterbacks have gone down. And all of a sudden you're like, third string's like, wait, I got to do what? Ah, shit. I wasn't really paying attention at practice. I was looking at the cheerleaders over there.
Yeah.
I think, you're right, Sean. You explain it like, hey, we need to make sure that he's game ready.
He's ready to go.
We need packages for him, give you a breather. That 75-yard run against whoever, FBS, he looked gassed.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like going, hey, if there's a penalty, we can put in Sims and we feel confident having him there. And then just doing that again,
Or at least put him in, like we get a fucking 2-touchdown lead over Northwestern, like get him in there. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that. Like, I don't know, starting him. I don't think you take the start away from him. But then it goes back to what the question that I basically had is like, would him doing that disrupt that locker room? Do you think the locker room would be divided if he did something like that? Like, is the locker room all Harburg, or what I'm saying?
I don't think so, because I think right now they're so hungry for wins they don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
But you have to remember, H squared's been there for 2-3 years.
Three.
This is his third year.
He's been around these guys for 3 years. Imagine being around guys in college for 3 years. You're super tight with them, right? You have this new guy. Yeah, he's cool, and we're starting to build that relationship. But I know this guy for 3 years.
Yep.
Right? A little bit different. Now, it comes down to coaching. Coach needs to go, H squared's our guy. But Sims, we're going to put packages in because you have all seen we need 2 quarterbacks the way that we run them here. So
you're one play away from him being the guy.
Yep.
So that would be a great poll for us, for anybody listening. Leave your comment, give us your opinion on what do you think about the thought process there. Do we run 2 quarterbacks? Do we just do package? I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Leave some comments, we'll address it. But we're closing in on an hour here. So what you guys got for any final thoughts on anything?
Well, I think we should. I think we should go around and give the last 6 games record.
Jaden, what are you gonna say?
I do have a question from somebody.
Okay.
So we can save that for last, but we'll do that last.
Okay. Who wants to start with their final 6?
Sean, go ahead.
Final 6.
Oh shit. I'm gonna go to shit. I'm gonna go 4 and 2.
Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at. And I got my wins over Northwestern, Michigan State,
Purdue,
Iowa, and Purdue.
Yep.
That's exactly where I'm at.
Yeah, I said 4 and 2, but I think we're gonna lose a game that we shouldn't, and I think we're gonna win we shouldn't.
So you're talking like lose to Purdue but beat Wisconsin.
Yeah, something like that. Something stupid where you're just like, Well, we're still 4-2. So
Yeah.
if we go 4-2, I think this season is a
Success.
huge,
Yeah.
Yeah.
huge success.
Monumental success.
Thank you. I'm not even drinking.
Jaden, what's the question?
All right. So it says, good sirs, this question is for the and more portion of the podcast.
Oh boy.
Specifically for Jaden due to his expertise.
It's
Let me tell you a
drinking.
little about
Something to do with drinking.
You don't get to write your own questions. You know
No,
that,
this
right?
isn't.
Okay.
No. Let me tell you a little bit about my situation. I'm in a fantasy football league and I'm having a shitty year.
Double B.
Recently though, I've been garnering some questions from another league participant who would like me to trade my Travis Kelce
Oh, you motherfucker.
to him so he can crush the competition. He says some nice things to me, and I know I've known him for some time now, but I'm not sure I feel comfortable with his advances. I guess it's because I feel like he's trying to screw me without even taking me to dinner and a movie first. I'm not adverse to making the trade, but I don't want to be used in the deal. This is where I need your help, Jaden. If you were in my position, what would you need to pull the trigger on a Kelce trade? I appreciate your time. Confused and Carney.
So let me get this straight. He has Kelce,
Mhm.
He has Kelce.
but he's out. His season
season's
season's
over.
over.
He's 0-5.
But it's a dynasty league.
Yeah.
Meaning you keep them. You
So-
don't just redraft every year.
Here's
Oh,
my thing. Here's my
that's
thing
nice.
for you, sir. Don't take anything less than a first round. And
First rounders on the table. Automatically. I already
And-
offered.
okay, less than a first round and a young player of some sort, one that is good, not fucking like Zach Evans or something who sits on the bench. And maybe even more in a first round. I'd say a first and a second. And then
Now you're trying to fucking rape me here, all right? Put a
who said
condom on.
anything about
Put
you?
a fucking condom on.
Who
right
said
now.
anything about
You're
you?
trying to dump a hot fucking load in me
Wait,
right
wait.
now.
Is
That's
there
fucking
money
unreal.
involved? Is there money involved if he wins the league?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then you get a portion of the win.
I don't
Oh.
disagree with that right there.
That's
That's dude. No, that's not fucked, dude. Okay, first
You
of all, if you're already out,
You take a
if
first
you're
round,
already out, you got to
take a
start
first
over
rounder,
anyway.
and you get like 20% of the winnings.
Maybe 10%, but you know, I mean, like, what are we talking about here?
Well, let's start.
How
at
much?
20.
How much money are we talking here?
Hey,
That's
let's
not
start
a
at 20
lot.
and settle
A
on
couple
10.
$100.
Throw me a 50
Regardless.
spot.
I'll give you a first and $50 for him if I win.
No, a first, a second, and a player, or
A first
just,
and
I don't
second's
know.
fucking outrageous. He's 34 years old, Jaden. How long can he
Do you
fucking
wanna
really
win or
keep
not?
going? He's 34. 34. We have
I
5
know.
rounds. We have 5 rounds on our rookie draft picks.
Maybe
I'll
goodbye
give him
to
a
the-
first. I'll give him a first, a fourth, and a fucking younger player that hasn't necessarily started playing yet, but probably will in the next year or two.
Or
That's what I'll do.
just don't deal with Andy.
Fuck you. All right. And fuck him. The price is fucking got lower now for bringing this shit to the podcast. It's fucking absurd. Be a man and handle your own fucking problems on your own. All right. You're gonna go and fucking bring Jaden into this. It's fucking it's sad shit right there, old man.
That's awesome.
I'd still
I
ask
love
for a
it.
portion of the winnings because, like, I helped you get there. What do I get out of it?
Yeah,
Well,
because if
double
it's a fantasy though, you're losing a big deal for the next couple of years,
Yeah, that's where the whiskey comes in.
right?
Well, he won it last year. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, he won it last year.
and he's
already
0-5
got
this
some
year.
money.
I don't understand how he's 0-5 when he won it last year. It's crazy.
We
That
had a
is
lot
crazy.
of injuries last year.
Yeah, he did.
So look, you want to talk like a man over the phone, which I told him the other night. I was like, you want to call me tonight? We can start negotiating. Great. Didn't hear a fucking peep. So,
Oh,
you know what I mean? But just for making this public now, I'm going to have my own fucking ideas rolling in my head now about this situation. So, good luck, sir.
Be careful, Andy.
Dude, I'm so glad I don't play fantasy. I'd be ruthless. Like it'd be bad. I wouldn't be able to handle this.
No, there's a fucking trade calculator out there for a reason. Okay, so
Jeez.
Well,
it
there's
is-
like
so that is
7.
fair.
There's like 7 different trade calculators.
Yeah, and they're all pretty fucking close.
Nah. Keep trade cut sucks.
Dynasty trade calculator.
I like that one.
It's like the Bible to use. Just use it.
Justin, do you have any thoughts, man?
I have lots of thoughts. I just don't know if they're any good. Yeah. If somebody's asking you for a player, then you're in the driver's seat and you get to name what you want because they have something that you want. Supply and demand. Simple economics.
Yeah, especially when the person on the other end says, "What do you want?" Point blank. What do you want?
See, but then you got to hurt the other person because you have something that they want, and they're
Well,
asking. So
T's a notorious cheapskate when it comes to trades. So
That's not true.
oh,
that's not
it
true.
is too. It is so freaking true.
Look at what I gave up for Josh Allen.
I'm gonna have to go with Jaden on this, dude. I just know you too well. I bet you are just a bitch when it comes to trades and shit.
Hmm.
It's not. It's just I'm not gonna fucking. I'm not gonna. What's the way I want to put this? I'm not gonna like leverage everything I have just to win in the moment right now. Like I'm definitely gonna think long term as well. And
No,
a lot of times
I don't
people,
disagree with that.
a lot of times people feel like they have to win the trade, right? Well,
No, you don't.
okay, but yeah, that's just simply not true at all. But I mean, he's a rookie to Dynasty. You know, he's only got 1 year under his belt. Like he'll learn. He'll learn not to piss off the other GMs when it comes to trade talks and making things public. You know, those are behind the scenes negotiations. So
you need the rent to trade on the board.
no, I mean once it's made public and other GMs are aware of the mudslinging going on here, then they're probably gonna want to hold back from doing business with you as well. So
I doubt it.
I think Andy's just trying to butter him up here.
Yeah. He got called out. He's like, oh shit.
we'll see what happens. I'll end up getting him.
We'll see.
I'll get him. All right. Well, thanks for that roast there for the final 5 minutes. It's finally brought something and more to this podcast that was needed in the last couple of weeks. So thank you for that, Double B. Sorry, Misery and Carney. My bad. But no, thanks to Justin for coming on. We appreciate you, man. You had a lot of good insights there, and we'll have to have you on again.
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, now I'm sure everyone's aware, but we are on YouTube now. Please go like, share, subscribe, do all of that. And with that, that's all I got. Go Big Red.
Go Big Red.
Oh, Big Red.